Over that way behind me is the glow of the sun as it has bent down below the horizon. The moon is rising. It's almost full. I'll just turn the camera that way to show you. There's the moon, the almost full moon. A midsummer moon. Is it midsummer yet? Not yet. But it has that Shakespearean feel right now. Midsummer Night's Dream. But it's not the midsummer. It's just like 3 weeks in. Summer is 12 weeks long, so it's another like 6 weeks until it's a midsummer. But today is 7/7. 7/7. It's a spiritual day, a spiritual night. Watching the moon get fuller. I think it'll be full tomorrow night. It's almost full right now. I had some questions today. I don't know how to answer them. My questions being, why do we sabotage ourselves? Now, for that one person who is lurking in, can you tell me if this stream is clear? Because I have no way of knowing if it's a clear stream or not. Because what I'm seeing is pure magic behind the camera there. Just pure magic at the moon. Wish I would have felt that way this afternoon. Moon this afternoon. It's probably blurry. Well, by the speed at which you clicked off, it probably is. Well, let's turn the camera back the other way and look at the glow. The last glow of the sun. And we'll just put this flashlight here. Kind of get that camp kind of a feel. You know, the camp feel. So why do we do things like sabotage ourselves? You know, I thought I would be old enough to get beyond all this, but maybe you just never do get old enough. And I was taking a walk and I was thinking about, you know, when you're a kid and like how many people like other people, you know, I was like, where did that complex come from? Because, you know, your mother, or at least my mother, never said anything about that. Maybe, I know maybe some folks say their kids are ugly, but I don't know. I've never met that one. Maybe that's you, but I doubt it. You know, you're born into the world, and to your folks' eyes, you're the most beautiful thing they've ever seen because, you know, at least for a moment, that's how you were made. You were made in love. It may not have been romantic love, but there was some kind of love there when you were made, when your parents made you. But then again, I do know some folks that were made when their folks were drunk. And sometimes those relationships just don't work out. But what does that damage, what kind of damage does that do to the person with that knowledge that you were made by people who were intoxicated and their eyes had beer goggle eyes. It was just sort of a flight of fancy. Maybe they just got together because that was just the way it was. A pregnancy came about and they got together. An accident, but maybe it's not an accident. I didn't grow up in one of those kinds of families. I grew up in one of those kinds of families where when I was born, I was the most beautiful thing that my folks had ever seen. And my sister was the same too. She was born into that environment too. But yet, when I was 18, I didn't believe them that I was beautiful. You know, I look back there, I look at the sky and it's beautiful. I'm nearly 60 now, and I don't have those beliefs anymore. And I know that lots of people do, young people do have those beliefs, that they believe that they are ugly. They look in the mirror and they see a monster. They see monsters. But maybe a lot of that comes from, you know, you were that nerdy kid, or you were that socially awkward kid, and you were the guy that everybody chose last. The last person chosen for the team, and they would be like, "Ah, oh, damn, it's Bill again. I gotta have Bill on my team. Bill, God, we're just gonna lose now. I got all these damn losers on the team." When you're just out there, you know, 4th grade playing dodgeball, or team sports, or whatever it is you're playing. That kind of stuff probably does have a build-up on you. Or you run into your teenage years and you're comparing one to another, or you're that nerdy, scrawny kid, and you know, people have tried to get you into football and all that, but you know, you just didn't have no athletic talent. Or you're that kid that was like an ace at chess, but you really sucked with the ball. And comparing yourself between the other boys, and you just didn't feel like you stacked up, and those boys that were good at the sports were the ones that all the girls liked. All that comparison. And I know that the girls compare themselves to each other too. The boys compare themselves and the girls compare themselves. And so that when you yourself go and look at the mirror, in the mirror, you don't see those popular kids. You don't see what people look like on the cover of magazines, or the cover of you know, so what I guess in these days it's social media. You don't see that. You don't see those faces. You don't see 6-pack abs or whatever. You look at yourself and you don't see that stuff. And so you think, well, that's what the world wants. The world wants the muscles. The world wants the muscles. The world wants the ball players. The world wants these folks. The world doesn't want you. The world doesn't want me. And those are the thoughts you're thinking. Those are the thoughts you're thinking and those are the thoughts that seep on into your brain, and then every time, you know, you fail at a relationship, you fail at love, those programs just filter up from your brain. They filter up inside, and that's why you start to believe your own lies. That's why you start to believe your own lies. Lies, lies. All those thoughts are lies. And so when I was thinking about self-sabotage, why do we sabotage our behaviors? Or, you know, you got a good thing going, but before things start to work out, the program rolls back and says, well, it's just going to be like that last time. It's going to be like that last time. And then whatever you're trying to do just doesn't doesn't work out. It doesn't manifest. It doesn't turn into anything. When things are going good and when you are on the verge of doing what it is that you want to do, or you're on the verge of being in that relationship that you always dreamed about, that's when these old programs kind of seep up, and that's when they click back into your brain, and you just don't let yourself go forward, something like that. That's kind of one of the things I was talking about. But you know what? Today is 7/7. 7/7 is a spiritual day. Sevens is the number of like withdrawing and contemplation, spending time thinking about your inner life, your inner spirit. And under these moons, the full moons in the sky, this isn't quite full, but it's close. These full moons in the sky, the moon illuminates those things inside that deceive you. Because under the moon at night, that's when our imaginations run wild. That's when these old programs bubble up. They bubble up to the surface, illuminated by moonlight. Anxieties are always more real at 2 a.m. Anxiety is more real at 2 a.m. You can almost just imagine yourself lying in bed with your hands cradling your head, surrounded by 9 swords crawling up the wall. The 9 of Swords. But you know, in that tarot card, those 9 of Swords crawling up the wall, there is an out. There's an out there. Those swords are arranged like a ladder. And so, though granted your fears and everything is magnified, your fears and everything is magnified under the light of that moon, you can crawl out of it just by gaining a different perspective. So we got this moon up there in the sky, and welcome, Lydia. You got this moon up there in the sky, and it's almost full. A magic moon on a 7/7 Monday night. Still Monday. At least it's Monday on the West Coast, and there's still just a little bit of light bending around the earth, bending around the horizon. You see that back there? That is the last of the sun. Because soon, that sun is going to dip down below the horizon, and you won't see any more of that glow anymore. But what you'll see is high up in the atmosphere on a clear night, you'll see the indigo, that deep indigo blue. And that deep indigo blue is the sun. The sun superimposed upon the moon. The sun superimposed upon the moon. That, the sun that gives us life and gives us the strength we need to go through our days. When you're young, you may believe you're ugly, but there comes a time in your life, maybe somewhere around 40, some people it's younger, that they don't believe that stuff anymore. They don't believe that stuff anymore. Now, you may be not so easy on the eyes. I don't know. I'm probably not so easy on the eyes anymore. I mean, lots of people thought I was cute, or maybe they were just lying to me. I don't know. So I got to be believing that, yeah, well, I think that was true, because why else did that guy, that table of 6 give me $100 tip? Well, I know it was more than just the easy on the eyes. I know that it had to do with attitude, and had to do with openness of spirit, and it had to do with trying your damnedest to bring your guests everything they wanted, and so that they could enjoy their meal and be entertained in that moment. And that's the one thing I did like about service work, is that, especially like working in a casino, is because a lot of people, they came there to be entertained. Now, granted, there were people who were the regulars who were there, and they did have gambling addictions and so forth. Welcome, Julianne. Welcome. But the weekend people, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday people, they weren't necessarily gambling addicts. They were just people, who were coming to have a great time. Coming to have a great time. And those were, and so when you were waiting on them and serving their food, and you just kind of knew that they were there. Welcome, Victor. They were there to have fun. And that was kind of what was nice about working in the entertainment industry, is that it versus like working in a hospital, or working in that door store. Well, granted, the door store was great too, because the people who were buying doors and stuff, they were working on their dream houses. They were working on their houses, or they were working on their businesses. They were working on their dreams. And so, yes, you were serving people working on their dreams. The other kinds of service work has its rewards too. But the entertainment industry was a lot of fun. I mean, yes and no. It was hard. It was hard. Because there was nothing easy about bartending. There was nothing easy about alcohol service. There was nothing easy about working in the gambling industry. There was nothing easy about that. But there were these places when you could forget about management, when you could forget about all of the fact that, well, you know, I guess that was why in orientation and in the meetings and in the yearly meetings, that they really hammered home that it wasn't your business to make judgments about the people who you were serving. And anyway, so that's kind of how that goes on. So you didn't get caught up in do-gooderism, because do-gooderism exists in a lot of people. And so for casino work is not for people who are who spend too much, who are caught up in that in do-gooders. Not that there's anything wrong with being do-gooders, you know, but we live in a world where there's lots of choices, and we can make choices, and we do have some agency for ourselves too. Though I met some people who were tribal. I think they were Cowlitz tribe, it didn't really matter, but who had the trouble with they were compulsive gamblers, and where with this one fella, he said that I have more money when I don't have a job. I have more money when I'm homeless. But when I have a job, I sink every single dollar I have. Welcome, Lila, and welcome, Victor. Every single dollar into those machines. And so that is a sad reality of working in the casino industry. I worked, anyway, I did 2 stretches of 3 years. And when I left the second time, I did not cash my 401k out. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I left the 401k there because that tribe and that casino is the largest employer in this area. And so if you went to the gas station, the tribal gas station, or you went to the tribal center, I can't get a job down there because I'm not tribal. But if I were to marry somebody who was tribal, I would be able to get a job down at the tribal center and so forth. That would be like first choice. That was like one of the perks of marrying somebody who's tribal is is getting work down in that other environment, which is way more laid back than at the casino. But anyways, I don't know how it is that I ended up at the casino. I haven't actually been in that casino since 2021. Not since my supervisor retired. Not since my supervisor retired. And other people, they'd like me to come and visit, but I don't want to go in to the casino when the casino, welcome, yeah, have a good evening, yeah, when I can't really afford to, to play some slot machines, because I really wouldn't mind playing like some Keno slots, like Cleopatra Keno, or there's like in one of the Game King, there's a game that you can't really play. It's Super 8 Racing. It's a really fun game, but but you can only play it on like certain Game King machines, and there are no tablet apps. There are no tablet apps that have that Super 8 Racing game on it. But who knows? Maybe maybe they got rid of those games on there as well. I don't know. But kind of like a summer camp now. Kind of got that lighted from below. Let's go take a look at the sun. I mean, not the sun. It's the moon. It was the moon up there in the sky. But originally, when I came on, Lila, I was kind of thinking about self-sabotage. I think I'm going to read on that. I don't know if I'm going to read on Tools of Fortune tonight, because I was kind of disconnected last night, and it wasn't very good, and because I thought that I'd lost the freezer. I actually had to throw away like 80% of the contents in the freezer yesterday or last night, and so that was kind of a bum. I guess I'd left the door open or something, but I was kind of worried that the compressor blew out on it. And yes, the freezer, and losing the freezer, and so and so I had I threw away a lot of the stuff had been in there for a while, but I threw away lots of stuff. And then I just was able to save what could go into the refrigerator freezer part that I have in the kitchen. And so I was like, hi Mama Sushi, and so I was really feeling distraught. And then so I went on and I did a Tools of Fortune live for like a little less than an hour maybe, and I was very, very much so disconnected from myself. And so I probably should, but you know, and then it's also this second time ever I see that Sunday night in that night spot, there's no Sunday night is a bad night for that anyway. So it's a good idea to take breaks. And so then today I had a doctor's appointment, and then there was like some huge anxiety issue that occurred. And so I was just hoping that sitting under the moon here and sitting under the moon, but I just started that channel. And summertime is the time where you can make massive amounts of growth. And then I found out again that the car has a mice infestation in it. And so the car has like when I took the car to the shop last, what was it, April? I mean, there was just the things that we needed to do, the oil change, and then the outside door handle on the driver's side had busted off, and then there was a headlight, and because it's a Nissan Murano, and it's really hard, it's kind of tight in there to changing the headlight out. So I just let them at the shop change. I already had the bulb. I let them change the bulb out, but when they got in the to take the door panel off, they found a whole mouse colony inside the car, and so they put some peppermint in there to do that. But then today I learned, because like there was a mouse turd, and somehow the mouse turd ended up in my mother's mouth, and then it was just like, but then it was only in there for just like a second, and then she yeah. Always tired, yeah. So she got that out of there really fast, and then I was like telling another friend about it, and then she said, "Oh no, this and that." So then I had to like try to get a hold of a doctor, and then I got home, and then go do a doctor it took like a few hours to connect up, and then when it was the doctor was like thinking, let me just turn the camera around. And the doctor's like thinking, this is the first, in 15 years of practice, I've never heard of anything like this before. And then, well, he prescribed some drugs, and which I'll have to pick it up tomorrow for just a precautionary. But he said, well, if it was me, I wouldn't take the drugs, because as you described, that what you said is was what happened. Yeah, I know they do, and I know what it's spelled, and I know about the Gene Hackman stuff, and I don't really want to add to my anxiety and stuff like that. And so I actually wasn't going to say that, but anyway, I learned that, and so that was like this other point of anxiety and so forth. But I think that this part of the country, Lila, there hasn't been very much reports of that virus in these parts of Oregon, because I looked up on a map. There's kind of like on the Columbia, and it's in California, and there's like some places, but yeah, I did that, and so we didn't actually go. We did it on a video appointment, because there really wasn't much to be done, because but I don't know, we get a bunch of antibiotics or something tomorrow, because that's when we finally got through to a doctor. It was after that pharmacy had closed, and so, anyways, yeah. So yeah, that was what they were exposed a lot, and so this was like a small exposure, and anyways, and so I got to get that stuff go before we go tomorrow. I'll go thoroughly vacuum the car out, so it's very different. Yeah, but yeah, but that's the thing is that there is those nasty things, but to my recollection, and when I looked it up in this parts of Oregon, there hasn't been any reports of that disease here. So I don't know. And most of these mice here are field mice. Yeah. Yes, we did do the doctoring. Yes, I did that. But I guess what I was leading up to is just the whole anxiety and feeling disconnected, and so. But I just came out here to talk, But I wanted to share. Oh, it's dark now. Look, the sun has whipped around the. It has crossed down underneath. It has crossed down underneath the horizon, and all you're left with is that indigo that remains all night long from the sun, and then we cross over to the other side, and we got that moon. Because I really wanted to come out and share the moon with all y'all. And anyways, Lila, I took one of my anxiety pills. Yeah, the deep indigo. Yeah, I took like an anxiety pill. No, they're not the. And so I'm not so sure how anxiety pills and intuition work together. I haven't tried that. So I think I'm not going to go on tonight. I might do maybe something canned. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I think I'll probably just try to go to sleep. That's probably be the best thing to do. Go to sleep, get up early, if I can. But I did, well, today I was like thinking, I had some questions, and I was like thinking, I wonder what my set of cards, how they would answer the question of why do we. Yeah, I will. I'm going to probably watch a movie. That movie Hook is free on YouTube this month. There's my mom looking out. I'm going to take the dog out. I'm coming out to. I'm going to just pause it for a second. I mean, mute it for a second here. Just enjoy the quiet for a second here. Yes, there are some stars up, but we can't quite see them. We just see the big old moon up there. Yeah. Yeah, we can't quite see the Milky Way. There's almost too much noise. There's too much light pollution to see the Milky Way from here. And okay, there's that. There's a satellite going over. See it up there towards the tree? No, I can't see it. There's, I guess well, it must be the space station going over. Sometimes it does. I've seen the space station a few times going over. It's kind of really, probably all y'all have too. Yeah, that's right. There are a few stars. The stars are coming out. So yeah, I'll do that, Lila. I will watch a movie or something. Oh, you've never seen the the space station, go over. It's probably too much light. You have to go on the website to see when it's going. Oh crap, there was a mouse that just ran right in front of me.
I locked the back door.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was just like sitting here and a mouse just ran right over my foot almost. Well, good night, Lila.
Good night.
Good night.
I was just sitting there and a mouse flew in my mouth.
Yeah, I know. And a mouse just ran by my feet here.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't open your mouth.
Yeah, don't open your mouth. Yeah, exactly. It's Lyla. Oh, there's a slug crawling over here too. But I think the full moon is tomorrow night. So maybe what I'll do is tomorrow night I'll sit out here underneath the full moon and see if the full moon grants us some special powers or something. Other than just the magic of the fact that it's a full moon and all that, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess I have a hard time believing that these celestial bodies actually do anything at all. That's my fault, isn't it? Oh, you have a good ultrasound. Good. Oh, tomorrow morning. Oh, that's great. I hope that it turns out wonderful. I hope that it turns out wonderful. Yeah. Anyways, I've been on here for 37 minutes and yeah. Well, I look forward to hearing about how that has turned out and all that. Still warm outside. Got the wind chimes. I really don't like these creepy things that don't have legs, but there's a slug moving along. I was trying to find like lavender when I was in town. Some lavender plants. The Kramer's that sells all the things. They were like $10. Well, they're ranging in price from like $10 to. Oh, there's my neighbor heading into his house. Tomorrow's garbage day. $10 up to like, I don't know, was it $20 for potted plants, and then there's like deer waste spray and all of that. But you know, the thing about it is you buy that stuff, and every time you water your plants, you got to go reapply it. So you have to have an endless supply of deer way, or I think, which is pretty like a cayenne pepper spray or something like that. And yeah. Anyways, an endless supply of it. And it was just like one of my friends from down, old friends, he says, what he does is he just goes around at night and pisses on all his plants. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, I don't know. That might work just as good as anything else, you know. Everything exists on a sense and everything else, you know. It's not like I live in a city, so there ain't no homeowners association here. No rules like that. No prying eyes. Nope. No prying eyes. And these slugs can move really fast. With that note, you know what? I'm going to call it a night. call it a night. I've got to roll the car windows up before I go. Do that. And I bought some more candles, like those Maria Guadalupe little cans with the candles in them. Those are nice. A couple more. Yeah. This slug looks really interesting with the, I wonder if I can show you the shadows of this slug on the ground. Let's see, if we turn this around, is it like that? Then I take this one here and, is it like this? No, how do I get this to move? Oh, like that. There. That this, can you, I guess it's probably, there it is, a big old slug moving along the ground. You know, in this full light, you didn't quite notice the little shadow. You could see this. To me, I'm looking over here and I see the shadow of its antenna. All right, good night. We'll just leave the video on the slug right here. The star of the show, the slug, slugging across the sidewalk. Yeah. Yeah, well, but you know, it's all fine and dandy until you step on one, right? It's all fine and dandy until you step on one. Let's just go turn that back to the moon. Yeah. No, I know, you know, it's fine. Everyone's got their own thing going on, you know. But there's the grass. So I forgot to ask, was this stream clear? Because I'm like right at the edge of the Wi-Fi field. It shows that I have full strength here, that it should be a clear stream. Yeah, it's nice. It almost feels like oh, it is clear. Because I just really feel like I'm camping right now. This is why I guess I came out here to do this, because it has that like campground like feel with the, you know, flashlight, and got the flashlight coming up here like you're at summer camp. But I'm awfully old to be at summer camp, but I'm not awfully old to go camping. Anyways, that's all I got. That's all I got for you guys. 43, and I'll be coming back tomorrow. I was hoping that I could. I got a whole bunch of pie cherries to pit, and so if the time and everything works out like that tomorrow afternoon, I'll go pit a bunch of pie cherries. It's kind of like you're being in a movie or something like that. All right. I'm going to go, and I'll see all y'all later. Thank you, Mama Sushi. Thank you, Lila, which I know you're gone. Thank you, Victor Truth Wave. Thank you, everyone else who came in and to say hello. And we'll see all the next time. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Oh, that's a cool effect. It's kind of like you're behind a fog or something. Yeah. That's a really cool effect. There's all these amazing things you can do with a flashlight, you know? Bye. Come on. on touchscreen. Yeah.